Today we're talking about the brand new software update 2022.20.6. Now if you're new to my software updates, how we start this is first off we go over what's on the screen, what's new in the software updates. But as we all know, Tesla is doing more under the hood than just what they put on the screen. So what I've done for years on my updates is we're going to take it out after we go over what's here and see how it interacts with real life, see if we can notice any of those changes. But we also go out there and test different things like line control, how well it's handling corners and whatnot, well in autopilot on some of the back roads around my house, on the freeway, things like that. Now I know a lot of you are racing down below to make comments as you always do, so I say at the beginning of every video, I am fully aware that the autopilot, the non-full self-drive autopilot, is not designed for anything but interstates, highways, that sort of thing. However, through tons of polls I have done over the years with my viewers, I know that so many of you guys, over 80% of you guys, are turning it on other times. So because of that, I go out there and try to see if there's any enhancements in some of these other areas as well, just so we can kind of track it and see from previous updates if we notice anything better. So yes, full disclosure, this is not designed. The auto steer system in autopilot that comes on every single car is not designed to be great or in any way work or advertised to work on any roads that are not freeways, highways, that sort of thing. But we test it here because, well, most of us use it. Now let's start with looking at the release notes here. So we got the cabin camera improvements, which just says that the cabin camera above your rearview mirror can now determine driver's attentiveness and provide you with audible alerts to remind you to keep your eyes on the road when autopilot is engaged. Camera images do not leave the vehicle itself, so it's just basically trying to do its best to replace our hand being on the wheel at some point. This is in almost every single update, not a whole lot of changes there. But this new one here, seatbelt system enhancements, this is the one I am hoping we're going to see some changes with today. It says this enhancement builds upon your vehicle's superior crash protection based upon regulatory and industry standard crash testing. By now, using Tesla Vision to help offer some of the most cutting-edge seatbelt pretensioner performance in the event of a frontal crash. Wow, that was a tongue twister. Your seatbelts will now begin to tighten and protect properly restrained occupants earlier in a wide array of frontal crashes. So I don't know if we're going to be able to chance to make that happen or if we're going to be turning corners and feel it tightening on us a little bit differently, but that's what I'm going to be watching for. It may be in only more extreme cases that we see the seatbelts act differently, but when going out today, we'll see if we can make it work. Also with this update, a chime will play when the traffic light you are waiting for turns green. If you're waiting behind another vehicle, the chime will play once the vehicle advances unless traffic or cruise control or auto steer is active. Now, of course, this is only going to be doing that if you're not in autopilot. If you're in autopilot, the car is going to just follow the car through the light in front of you in the first place. But this is like if you're sitting at a traffic light and maybe you're talking to your spouse or you look back on your kids and the light happens to turn red or green, then it'll ding at you. You go, oh, it's my turn to go. So you're not sitting there like an idiot looking at your phone or something at a traffic light. So the car that I'm in right now is a 2022 Model Y. It is a long-range all-wheel drive, non-full self-drive model. So we did not pay for the upgrade full self-drive in this model. We have it in our Model 3 that I do all my full self-driving videos on. We wanted this one so we can, do some interaction with those who don't have full self-drive, don't care about that side of things, still be involved in the updates and what's going on there like we used to do for years before the full self-drive came out. Now, one thing I'll point out too is that just this morning, something really strange happened. So I wanted to kind of talk about it in case some of you guys experience this. I don't think it has anything to do with any kind of update or what software version you're on. But what happened was that my screen went totally blank on my wife. It just went totally blank. She got in the car and she could not get it to turn on, couldn't get the car to turn into reverse, drive. She couldn't get the car to do anything at all. It let her get in the car, which is interesting. So her phone was synced to the car, but when she was sitting in the car, she couldn't get it to do anything at all. And I've never had this happen on my Model 3, but this does happen, and Tesla does talk about it on their website. Now I'm going to put the car into autopilot here on this back road by pressing down twice on the right gear stock here, so the car is fully in auto steer, okay, is what's happening right now. And we're going to be watching again for how much we don't get too close to the yellow line. I want to stay in there nicely. So you guys should be able to see it on the 360 camera on the roof a little bit better than through the windshield. So hopefully that's, you guys are liking that view. But what happens if that does happen to you, and if you take and reset your screen, it actually isn't enough. Let's see how it handles this little intersection here. Slow down a little bit. And again, what I'm watching for here is I want to feel my seatbelt give me a little bit of tension. I want to feel it move as it thinks one of these cars are coming out of here. So I'm kind of going back and forth talking here, but you guys will follow along here. It's doing great so far though. On the right-hand turns are always the hardest for it to not touch that yellow, and it's doing really well right now. Best I've seen so far in any of my update videos for this. But what you have to do if that does happen, so if you are driving down the road and your screen goes black, or you're getting in your car like my wife did and you can't even drive it because it just went totally black on you, if you press on the brake and then hold down both of these wheels, it's another level of reset, and that solved the problem. One thing you also can do is you can power off your car, kind of put it through like a power sleep, little power lapse. And that is if your screen is on, but it's just acting funny or weird. Okay, so far I haven't felt any different tensioning on my seatbelt here, but you can go in here to the menu and put a little pressure there on the wheel. And what you can do is you can actually power off your screen. You can't do it while you're moving. This has to be done when the car is not moving. But you can go in there and power it off, leave it off for 2 minutes, power it back on. Just don't touch the screen, the brake, or the doors, and it will stay powered off. But that's how you kind of like put the car to sleep, kind of fix some of those problems. If the two wheels, touching the two here doesn't fix it, which can be done while you're driving, then you can do the one where you press the brake and press it, and that will usually fix it. And generally letting your car go to sleep fixes a lot of them. Okay, we're coming in hot here. Ooh, okay, the car actually slowed down. You saw that there. It actually slowed down really nicely to handle that corner. I haven't had any interaction on this drive. It's been very comfortable this whole way so far. And the ultimate test is coming up. I'm going to put it right down to the speed limit for this test. There's a train track. We're going to do a quick kind of S over, like right over top of. It's never been able to complete it before on the non-full self-drive. Full self-drive, it handles it no problem. But this is an opportunity for it to try this. And this is where, if anything, the car is going to think it's about to crash and might do the seatbelt tension thing that they're talking about. Because so far I haven't got it to do it. Even with those turns coming, with cars coming at me, hasn't done it. But the steering, the auto steering, has been phenomenal since I've been on this. So here we are. The car should be slowing down. Now we're following the car through this. So this might be a little bit more of an advantage on this update. Let's see how, okay, it's doing its own slowing here. Okay, so there's a big bump right here, and the car handled that absolutely spot on, beautiful. But the big but here is it was tracing the car in front, and if we had come at that without a car in front, how much would it have slowed down to make it over that? We got to go try it again. Let me go up here and turn around, and we'll try it from the other direction and see if there's any difference there. Let's turn that around right here, and we'll try that again. All right. Now there's a car in front, but I'm gonna let him get a little bit further ahead. Now this way we're coming at it from 35 miles an hour. So the other side, it's 45 right through that intersection. This one is 35. So I'm gonna keep it right on 35 when we get there. I'm gonna go up to 40 to get us there a little faster so the guy behind us doesn't freak out. Now it's not going, okay, it took a little while to get to 40 there. That was interesting. Okay, now it jumped up to 45. It doesn't know what it's doing, but it can go up to 40 and it's not. So here we go. It's suggesting 20 miles per hour, coming at this hot at 40 miles per hour. Okay, yep, I had to take control there because it started beeping at me. And so, you know, I guess the thing is, if there was better speed management, it would do a lot better. We're hitting the brakes pretty good there. Now we're heading into the city here. I want to see how the car is going to react to lights. I want to see if we can catch this light here turning green for us, not an autopilot. So here we are up to the light. I'm braking right now, so I'm not using autopilot. Right now this car will not stop because I don't have full self drive for lights on its own. It has to have a car in front of me if I'm on autopilot, or else it won't stop. But here I am at the light. I'm stopped, and my foot is off the brake. Let's just pretend like I'm just chilling here. So light turned green, no ding came there. Let me actually pull over here for a second. I want to check something and see if there's a setting that needs to be turned on there first, because a lot of times that's the case. Let's go on your autopilot, blind spot warning. Okay, there it is right there. So put the car in park. So we got right here, we got green traffic light chime, turn that on. Okay, so now it will do that when it turns green. So let's go back out there and see what we can find. Now until then, I want to run it autopilot through here, and I want to see just actually I'm going to keep autopilot off because I want to see if the car is going to react with the seatbelts, because it's only going to really do that if you don't have autopilot engaged, because it's going to obviously take care of you itself if autopilot is engaged, or auto steer. Okay, autopilot, when I say autopilot, I'm meaning auto steer or whatever version of it you have in your car. Let me kind of accelerate up to this car when they're braking. Okay, so I made it kind of do its thing there. I didn't feel any tensioning at all in the seatbelt. There might have been just a drop, just maybe a hair, not noticeable though. And I was coming at that fairly hot. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put in autopilot or auto steer right now at the light. So when it turns green, the car should just follow this car through the light. Now you can see the lights up here that they're showing are red. If they turn green, actually I'm going to turn it off. I want to see if it can pick them up from back here. Because I'm not on autopilot turning green. Let me just see if the car can if they will ding, even if I'm not at the front of the line here. Because there was some question about it in the notes that if there was a car in front of you and on autopilot, that it might not do it. So let's just get a little bit of proof here. Should turn green here in just a minute. Okay, so they just turned green. No chime. Okay, so no chime came. So I think it's because there was a car in front of us. And of course, with this amount of people around here, it's pretty hard to time a light such that you're not gonna, have someone in front of you there. Yeah, I guess I'm just gonna keep running this, seeing if I can't make it, the seatbelt tighten on me. So here we are, red light again, still on the accelerator. They're braking, still on the accelerator. It didn't even chime at me there, even though I came in that pretty hot. We got a better view of the green lights now. The car can easily see them. Remember, my camera is right up here. It's above me looking forward there. So they should be able to see that light turn green easily and chime me. Let's see. Nope. I think you have to be at the very front before it's going to do anything. Let's try one more time to get the seatbelt to tighten on me here. We'll try it at a red light. Or next time that someone brakes in front of me or whatever. Well, so far I have tried so many times to fake hit people, and I cannot get it to do any sort of protection on the seatbelt or any kind of different tensioning other than that it's already been doing. So I think it must be for something a lot more extreme than what I'm willing to do intentionally. Okay, coming up on this car, accelerating. Nothing. Well, guys, I think we're going to pretty much wrap this video up. It looks like it's doing pretty good on auto steer. I did really well handling those corners at the speed limit. When I went 5 over the speed limit, I had to interfere one time there because it got a little bit dicey on that one corner. I handled the train tracks really well when I was following another car, which is great. It's good to see that it's able to take on corners and curves like that in the road and handle them. Again, this is designed mostly for freeways and highways, but those of us who use on the main roads like this, it's fun to see how it's improving. And overall, I guess they are making some enhancements on the safety, the seatbelt control, the green light chime. However, from what I've been able to find, having tested this on so many different ones now, that only works if you are the car in the very front. If you're not in the very front, it will not chime at you. And you know what? My car, the Model 3 on full self-drive, is probably the same way. I just don't pay that close of attention, or I hadn't. So anyway, overall, it's pretty awesome update. It was a fun drive. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like and a comment on this video, and subscribe, of course, to catch future videos. We got some big installs coming in this car. If you haven't seen the previous install video where I put a bunch of new things inside of this car, check that out. We got the new screen mount getting put in. We got brake covers put in. We got all kinds of stuff we're doing in this car here very soon, including another screen. So make sure you subscribe to see all those videos, and I'll see you on the next one.